All right. Welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Hope you guys are doing well. Like, subscribe, and share. And thank you guys for watching the videos. Okay, it's February 2019. All right. So, yeah, the super moon was out today, I guess, and interesting day, right? So let's get into the report here. If you didn't check out my video on Currency 365, the epic rant. Remember, guys and girls, it is YouTube, okay? So I think some people really believe that, outside of that video, I'm really like angry and mad like the rest of the day. It doesn't work that way, guys and girls. It's a video for YouTube. I'm passionate about and during the video, and that's it. Okay, the video's over. Okay, I go back to my normal life. Okay, so just understand that when you that's why it's called epic. It's an epic rant, right? Just for the video. Okay. People still will not even if I say this 100 times, and people see that the title it does say epic rant on the title, people will still watch the video, hear me scream and yell in the video, and then think that I'm really mad in the real world. I'm telling you right now that it's not the case. It's never been the case. It's YouTube, okay? And after that, I come back to my normal self and I continue to enjoy my life, okay? Okay, so let's get started with the report here. So it says Abadi, Prime Minister Abadi, well, former Prime Minister Abadi, excuse me, I did not succeed in fighting corruption and planned to dismantle his regime with a second term. Oh, okay. So he's admitting now. He also needs to admit that he didn't succeed in reforms as well, right? Because and he might not say that he didn't succeed in reforms. Reason why he probably shouldn't say that publicly is because he made a statement that he would die for the reforms. Remember that? So if I'm a body, I would stay quiet about the reforms, okay? Because he did say he would die for the reforms. So and he's still alive. So you know what I'm saying? So it would look kind of weird. But him coming out and saying, "Look, I couldn't fight. I didn't succeed in fighting the terrorists, the corruption." So what does that tell us? That tells us that the corruption is still there, right? So if a body didn't succeed in his 4 years in fighting corruption, then the corruption is still there. Okay. Okay, so Prime Minister Abadi justified his administration's inability to fight corruption to narrow the time of his rule. I did not succeed in the task completely. Explained that corruption is a political system. Bingo. There it is. There it is. You know what I mean? Like we already knew this, but Abadi to hear from the former prime minister is just telling us exactly what we've been saying is completely true. What Iraqi Day told us is completely true. That they must remove the political system of the quota proxy government. That is the reason why we are not going to see anything until that happens. Okay. So, and you shouldn't want to see anything either until that happens, right? Who wants to revalue and bring out small notes and coins with corrupt people and still in positions and in charge? What idiot would do something like that, right? So, you know what I mean? So, and maybe Alak is the idiot that would do something like that and release the small notes and coins with the corrupt still in charge, knowing that Iraq would suffer. We would go up, of course, and then we will come down like that, right? They would literally steal everything, and they'll literally flood in terrorists, literally steal everything from the citizens again, and destroy the currency, right? And so we would literally, I mean, if Ali Alak did release the program rate, I'm thinking we would have maybe 5 to 10 days before they literally destroy it, their value, and they would do it by flooding in terrorists like from all over. Literally, Iran terrorist groups would be called up immediately, and terrorist groups from all over the world would be called up to run into Iraq if those corrupt people were still in charge. In my opinion, I think they would do whatever they could. They would create bombs everywhere. I mean, it would be a nightmare. Okay, and so that's why I just, if they wanted to kill the revaluation, that's what they would do, right? But if still, we would still have time. We would still have 5 to 10 days, right, to go to get to the banks and to exchange and make our money, at 1 to 1 or 2 to 1, maybe even 3 to 1, and then they will start the destruction of the currency immediately. So we would still get our way, and that's why they don't even want to even think about revaluing, right? The corrupt, because they know that even if they did bring in the terrorists and all that stuff happen, it would take 3 to 5 business days to really get that together, and to get all that stuff together to destroy the currency. Okay, so so we'll still have time, at least a 1 to 2 week time frame to exchange. Okay, so then the currency crashes back down, but it doesn't matter for us because we've already exchanged. It's only, it matters that the citizens, are now stuck in that situation again, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? But for us, outside of Iraq, we exchanged and we had a good time. You know what I mean? Like and so, but some people have told you guys, or that in our community, that they are not even exchanging for 90 days or 100 days, and that's you just can't be any stupider than that. Okay, so if anybody's telling you to not exchange for 90 days or 100 days, uh yeah, you might want to watch out. Okay, um you do what you want to do. Okay, if you do what you want to do, you can pray about it, and you can be led by it. But remember this: if the value is positive, you've won. Right? If the value is positive, you have won. So it doesn't matter. Why would I wait 90 days when I've already won? Right? So people have been calling this thing scams, and you're crazy and all that stuff. So when the value turns positive, I've won. I'm going in. I'm going in with a few notes, right? And then I'll check it later, and a couple more days, see where it's at, and going with a couple more notes. I don't have to rush it, right? I can go with a couple notes here, next day, couple notes there, next day, couple notes, and just continue to do couple notes. But I've won if the value is positive, right? With all the heartache that we've been through, shoot, we see a positive value, we won, right? That's life changing. You're debt free. If the IQD is at 10 cents, most of you guys are debt free, right? That's a win. Who cares, right? Yeah, you're not a multi millionaire, but yay, who knows? It might go up to 30 cents in the next 2 or 3 days afterwards, right? So you still won. You still won. You won in your investment. That's the key part. Okay. Um. Let's see here. It says okay. So a political system, and we know that system is the proxy quota system, and we need to move to a technocratic system. Okay. It needs to be dismantled, coherent, and comprehensive. Maybe that's one of the reasons why Abadi has not taken a position in that quota governmental system, right? That proxy quota system continues to feed the corruption, right? So Abadi's waiting for that system to be removed with technocrats before he takes his spot as the vice president, if he even wants that position as a vice president, and if they even offer him, because they really don't want anything to do with Abadi's regime or Maliki's regime going forward. But if he wants that position, maybe they'll give it to him. They definitely don't want to give it to Maliki, Mr. Corrupt of the corrupts, right? He added, I was planning. Okay, so this is what Abadi's saying. Now, remember, we can all talk tough after we're out of the position. I mean, you hear principals talking. You hear superintendents talk this way. You hear politicians talk the same way. You hear CEOs talk the same way. When they're out of the positions, they talk about, yeah, man, I was gonna do this for y'all. I was gonna do that for y'all. You know what I'm saying? and really they weren't going to do anything, right? They had the time to do it and they didn't do it, right? So when you hear people say, man, I was going to do this, I was going to do that, I was going to buy this, we were going to rebuild the schools here, like, dog, you had 8 years or you had 4 years and you didn't do nothing. You didn't even, not even, and so now you're out of the position. You're saying how all the wonderful things you were going to do. How about you do the wonderful things while you're in those positions, right? So Abadi is basically doing the same thing. I was planning to dismantle this system during the second term. Oh, you couldn't do it during the first term, Abadi? You know what I'm saying? So we know that this is what people say when they come out of these positions. Okay, the false hope is what we call it. Okay, and we know that most likely his second term would have been the same as the first term. Okay. It's just pointing out that some of the steps taken to eliminate the privileges of the House of Representatives that made him persona non grata and lovable, as he put it. Okay, I don't know what this is all about. Non grata? What does that mean? I don't know. And anyway, so it is what it is. He's saying, look, I would, if I had gotten the second term, I would have, removed this. I would have removed the corrupt system. Yeah, but I didn't want to do it in my first 4 years. But in my second year, I would have done it. I would have got it done. Okay. Oh yes. Somebody, one of the subscribers on Currency 365 said that one of the report channels on YouTube is saying that nothing's going to happen till after the elections of 2020. I'm gonna say this: if you're listening, that makes sense, okay? Because if we're going to see the red tsunami on 2020, which I believe we will, California should turn green. I mean, I say green, should turn red. New York's probably going to stay blue because New York is beyond corrupt. But California turning red is possible for 2020, because there's no viable candidate in the Democratic Party right now that we even see going forward, and there's a lot of corruption for a lot of the Democratic candidates. So 2020, we could see a red tsunami, and that's the prophetic was supposed to be. They were calling it for the midterm, but I had a feeling it was for the presidential, because that's the really big one. That's the one you can kill the giant, right? So the 2020 elections, you can have California turn red. You can have a red tsunami. You can also remove the socialist Democrats that are in positions right now that got in for the midterm, and they're going to be removed. No one's going to be voting for them, right? in the 2020 elections. So you can kill the giant of socialism. Okay, and if we get the reset, you can kill the giant of the debt and all the other stuff. So 2020 elections, if we go fully red and it's a tsunami, then yeah, I mean the reset, currency resets could happen in 2020 after the elections. No doubt about it. It could, but we hope it's now. Okay, and I'm going to tell you that I hope it's now. I know that what they're saying is after 2020, which makes perfect sense. I get it. Red tsunami, reset, all these other stuff can take place. But we want it now. We want it to happen now. The citizens don't need to suffer that much longer. Okay, we want it now. There's too many people dying, too many people going through a lot of craziness to not have it now. There's no excuse not to have it now as well. Okay, so let's move on from there. Let's go here. And let's check this out. Directed by the project of the new building of the central bank, designed by Zaha Hadid. Okay, so Zaha Hadid is the one who um, designed it, and they're starting to build it. It looks like, okay, starting the groundworks for the building of this picture right here for the central bank, the new central bank. Now, is this central bank, okay, going to be holding program rate currency? Like they're literally going to be building this building right here, right, for program rate cryptocurrency. I mean, program rate fiat currency. I don't think so. That would be embarrassing, right? So are they? You know what I mean? Like if you're going to build something like this, take all that money to build something like this. It's a project, $800 million project. The design cost $70 million. Okay, so the contract or with the company for the implementation of the project is 800 million, and the design costs 70 million. So, are you doing that on a program rate, or you're doing that with a revalue currency? Right? Because if you do it with a revalue currency, it's a lot cheaper because you're 3 to 1, right? So you're 3 to 1. This doesn't cost that much. If you're doing it on a program rate, this costs a lot of money, right? So they're starting the groundwork for it, but this tells me that if this picture shows me that this is going to be an Iraq that is back on the international stage on the global markets, right? It's not going to be an Iraq that's under a program rate. No way. All right, so moving on from there, and here's gold. It says Iraq strengthens its reserves of gold and reveals its quantity. I think they're at like 98 or 99 or 95. Let's see. It says it's 96.3. Okay, hold up. Let me make sure this is Iraq. Iraq increases reserves last year to 6.45 tons, bringing its total gold holdings to 96.3 tons. Okay, so there it is. They're at 96. They continue to bring in, a lot of tons of gold, man. Iraq got a bunch of gold, man. Um, 96.3 tons of gold. That's a lot of gold, guys. And they're almost back to 100 tons of gold. So, you know what I mean? And they're going to be able to, it's going to be used to back the currency, right? They're going to use it to back the currency. Same thing Zimbabwe needs to do with their currency when they reactivate it. Same thing everybody else needs to do. The dollar, whatever the new dollar is going to be, or whatever happens with the American currency, China, everywhere else, everybody needs to back their currencies with assets, gold and silver and oil. So, Iraq's going to do the same thing. It's going to back it by oil and gold, and it's going to be able to keep that price up high. And this is what my epic rant was about this right here, about these projects and things like that. So I'm not even going to discuss it here. Go watch the video of the epic rant that I did. And well-deserved rant there. Okay, let's see here. It says America reveals the number of its troops in Iraq and declares readiness to be counted in one case. Okay, when America reveals numbers, is these numbers are usually way off. Okay, sometimes they give numbers from 12 months ago. Sometimes they give numbers from 2 years ago. Sometimes they give numbers that no one even knows exist. Right. So remember that when America gives numbers, why would we help our enemies out by telling them exactly what the count of people are in a certain area, right? So just remember that, okay? We never give out real numbers. No one should ever give out real numbers. Okay, it says they rate the presence of troops at 5,200 troops per week. What does that mean per week? Pointing out that this number is changing weekly rather than a fixed number. Oh, okay. And there are with the Iraqi forces. So they're saying there's about 5,200 troops in Iraq. Anyone believe that? Okay, if you believe that, okay, you don't. Okay, if you want to believe that, go ahead. But that's why they said it's a number that changes on a daily basis. That's because you probably have 40,000 troops, 30,000 troops in Iraq. Okay. 5,200 troops is the number they gave us when Obama finally admitted that there was troops that he was sending troops to Iraq. That's the number he gave us back in 2014 and 15. Okay, when ISIS and Daesh was going in Iraq, that's the number they gave us, 55,000 troops. And so you think in 2019 we still only have 5,000 troops? Okay, you guys can think that if you want to. Customs warns importers of dangerous action. The Customs Authority on Tuesday demanded all importers to expedite the clearance of their goods. Okay, so you have to do a report on all your goods. I'm guessing. So if you're going to be importing, you have to do a clearance on your goods. Okay, so you have a time limit to do your clearance on all goods. As of February 20th, all containers of goods whose owners are late to be declared as smuggling will be considered according to the provision of Article 192. Okay, So make sure those that are bringing goods into Iraq, make sure everything is good to go. Make sure the paperworks are good to go. Everything's updated, so you don't have any problems with the new unified standardized custom tariffs. Okay. Okay. So when will the custom tariffs affect the citizens? On Currency 365, I told you guys this is going to be a delayed chaos. And because Donald Trump did not do the national emergency, he did the national emergency and signed the bill. He didn't do the national emergency by himself, so he's literally bringing a delayed chaos, and that's what we're going to probably see with the custom tariffs as well. We're going to see the custom tariffs continue to put their might out there and tell people what they can't and cannot do, which is going to bring a lot of problems to citizens and traders and things like that. And maybe we'll see a delayed frustration take place in by the end of the month or into March. Um, Iraq strengthened its gold reserves of 96 tons. We already know about that. U.S. embassy, in Baghdad. We will not use Iraqi Air Force to strike Iran. Good, because Israel will. This is all setting. All we're doing is setting this up for Israel, right? America's hands not gonna be in it. America will not use the airspace to do it. Pence meets with Vladimir. I mean, not Vladimir. Yeah, not Vladimir Putin, but Netanyahu of Israel, and and they talk about how evil Iran is for the area of the Middle East. Donald Trump staying away, saying, "Look, man, like we don't like Iran, but we're not the ones gonna hit Iran, man. I got a 2020 elections to win, right? So Israel, it's time for you to go ahead and do your thing. We're not gonna occupy the airspace. We'll leave that to Israel." Okay, so once again, more confirmation that Iran that Donald Trump, it says, adding that U.S. President Donald Trump does not want to hit Iran. I know, Israel will. So once again, more confirmation that America does not want to be the ones that hit the Iranian nuclear power plant. They're going to allow Israel to do it. Okay. So we shall see. And it says the increase in the import tax of cars in the Middle East or in Iraq. Okay, that's because of the custom tariffs. So the import tax of cars increased after the unification of the custom tariffs by 15%, and we already know it's mostly on the cars over $50,000 or 50,000. Yeah, 50,000. I think it's $50,000 and not IQD. I think it's $50,000. Any cars over $50,000, I believe is what it was, unless they changed their minds and did something else. Yeah, it says collection of taxes on high price cars such as Land Cruisers and Mercedes. Yeah, increased by 15%. Yeah, there it is. So we talked about that before, and so yeah. So, anyways, let's see if the custom tariffs start to continue to bring out more details on foods. We want to see the food. The food and services is what we really want to talk about, not these luxury stuff. Let's get to the food and services. I want to see what the new customs are, what the new pricings on the food and services are, because it will, if they do have taxes on those, then it will impact the citizens, and at some point the citizens will have to come out and revolt because they don't have any purchasing power. You're going to tax them with no purchasing power. It's time to come out and speak out about that. Okay, so that's what I got for you guys. That's the Iraq report. Head on over to Currency 365 and check out the the fiat video. We'll look at the Wall Street and Trump news and whatever else is going on around the world. And Benny is supposed to go live today at any time today, and let's see what happens going forward, guys and girls. 2020 elections, red tsunami. I believe that's when it's going to happen. When the red tsunami is going to happen in 2020 elections. I think we jumped it. I think everybody jumped the gun for midterms. And yeah, that's about it. Eyes open, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. God bless, and understand that when I make videos on YouTube, guys and girls, it's YouTube. And then once the video's over, I'm back into my normal life. Okay, so just understand that. Peace out. Eyes open. Bye.